Shadowverse Worlds Beyond just had a stream revealing a ton of information about the next update and the third card set, Heirs of the Omen. This is a quick recap of everything you need to know. First, I want to say, though, thank you to Shadowverse Worlds Beyond for giving me the opportunity to be the official English co-stream of that stream. If you want to check out our live reactions, the VOD is public for everyone. That's the trailer, by the way. The English trailer is up on the YouTube channel. But basically, the lore is that Omens, they've renounced their former ideologies and their followers aren't happy about it. So now they have these heirs, which are trying to preserve their old beliefs, but some of them are devoted while others are just exploiting the Omen name. So that's why the set is called Heirs of the Omen. It's going to feature both the Omens and these new usurpers, basically. And one of these newcomers is Sincero, heir to usurpation. So they did reveal 7-ish, maybe even slightly more if you count tokens, new cards for the set. Let's talk about it. Sincero is a 6.56 that fuses loot cards, and then on Fanfare it deals X damage to all enemies, which equals a different number of differently named cards fused to this card. And on Super Evolve it does it again. And there are 4 different loot cards in this set, similar to how they were in Classic. We got Gilded Blade, Boots, Goblet, and Necklace, and we see them here. They're slightly different in terms of effect compared to how they were in Classic. Gilded Blade can now deal 1 damage to either the enemy follower or enemy leader. Goblet heals 2 to your leader specifically. Boots gives +1 attack and rush to an allied follower, and Necklace gives +1 defense and ward to an allied follower. So the idea is to generate these loot cards with cards like Lair of Usurpation. Ideally, you play 2 of these, get all 4, fuse all of them into Sincero, right? And then at max, Sincero is a deal 8 to all enemies, which is kind of crazy as a card. I will say, though, in terms of judging how good these archetypes are, we really can't say until we see the whole package, because they're like completely new archetypes, right? It's gonna be hard to say whether Sincero is good until we see how many loot generators there are, right? Speaking of, the same thing is true for basically all of these decks. They're all like archetypal. Galmu Ardor Manifest, 5/5/5, you gain a crest on Fanfare. Enhanced 7, you gain Storm. And then once on each of your turns, when this takes damage but isn't destroyed, you deal 3 damage to an enemy follower. And the crest is that once on each of your turns, when an allied follower takes damage but isn't destroyed, you add Fangs of Ardent Destruction to your hand, which is a token, which is just a 0-cost deal 1 to all followers, right? So again, we're gonna have to see how many self-damaging cards there are in the commons, right? We really can't tell how good Galmu is on her own, but I mean, it seems aight. Controlling tool that can gain Storm in the late game, pretty cool. We also got Lashena Melody Manifest, which adds a melodious monody to your hand. It can't be destroyed by abilities, and then evolve, it summons a white psalm, and the white psalm, when it's destroyed, summons a black psalm, the light and heals you 1, and then the black psalm deals 1 and summons white psalm. So like it's a never-ending loop of white psalm, black psalm, healing and dealing, and they each have countdown 1. And you can also proc them with melodious monody, the token spell you get off the Fanfare, because it selects an allied card on the field and destroys it and deals 4 to an enemy follower. So maybe there'll be more destruction-based synergy around Lashena. Maybe she'll be good puppet support. Again, though, it's hard to tell without the commons. So I really want to reserve my like formal review until after the full set list comes out, really. This is one of the most interesting cards ever. Shamnacha, Heir to Entwining. Fanfare reduced the Faith of Faith Shamnacha, Heir to Entwining by 10 to give it increase the number of modes you can select by 1. And then Super Evolve, you select an enemy follower on the field, destroy it, and add a copy of it to your hand. So that's already pretty cool. But the Faith counter is a really interesting mechanic where it starts, is at the start of the match into your crest area if you have that Faith card in your deck. And this is a video showcasing the Shamnacha ability. So you see you got the Faith at the start of the game, and then you build up the Faith by playing modes. And then once you play the Shamnacha, and then like I said, this use case here where the Ginyuzu can now select both modes, which is pretty nutso, right? Like, I didn't even know they could code this. Like, this is something that if you tried to code on the Shadowverse Classic engine with all the spaghetti code, it would just, like, your computer would explode. So, like, it's cards like this that make me realize, yeah, moving to a new engine was probably for the best. We'll have to see how many mode cards we get in Abyss, but this has the potential to be very good. I will say also, this specifically has a trait, Encroacher, which is interesting because it's an heir card, but Sincero, who's also an heir, doesn't have Encroacher. So I I wonder if that's the differentiation, right, between the devoted heirs and the exploiter heirs, you know? That might be the distinctive factor. But maybe, that's just a theory. Valharia, Heir to the Truth. Fanfare, draw a card, evolve, banish an enemy follower, super evolve, banish all copies of that enemy follower. Again, I'm gonna have to see if the heir theme is banish. We really don't know until we get more truth cards, but that's pretty interesting in that the super evolve would absolutely screw over, like for example, if you played Undead Soldier from Abysscraft, right? And then you just banish all the zombies. That'd be kind of mean. All right. And then we also get this card, which is insane. Miera Bane. It adds the Great Testimony to your hand on Fanfare. And then on Evolve, you gain Crest, Miera Bane, Great Manifest. And then when you gain the Crest, you replace your deck with a Miera Bane deck. And then you change the Reaper to a victory card. So instant win if you deck out. And then at the end of your turn, you discard all cards not named Great Testimony and draw 6. So you get Great Testimony, which just lets you destroy an enemy follower on the field and destroy it for 1 play point. But the fun thing is that the Miera Bane deck is a 76 card deck containing each card from Heirs of the Omen. We'll have to see what the cards in Heirs of the Omen even are and if Miera Bane is going to be easy to do. It's obviously a meme card though. I don't know if this is ever going to be good, but it's pretty hilarious. And it kind of keeps the Highlander flavor in that the Miera Bane deck you get is Highlander, right? It's one of each card from the set. So there you go. We also get Marwyn, which adds a Torrent of Despair to your hand. And then on Evolve, you gain the Crest Despair Manifest, which lets you deal X damage split between all enemies equal to the number of crests you have. So what? Grimnir, Marwyn, Lapis, Wilbert, Maddening Benison, and maybe Miera Bane? We'll have to see if they get more crests, right? That's the entire thing. Like, again, we need to see if the Despair deck gets support. And then, of course, Torrent of Despair is also just banish a random enemy follower from the field, advance kind of a crest by 1. That's pretty cool. It can help accelerate your Seraph Lapis to come out faster, so pretty neat card there. Next up, we also got the lineup tickets. This set revealed. It's Sincero and Gal Mew. Very beautiful. I'm not sure if these are all of the lineup tickets. I think, like last time in the Legends Rise set, they only revealed 2, but it ended up being 4. Maybe there's more than just these 2, but so far they've only revealed 2 for sure. Then we also get the new Kaori Uehara story coming out in Heirs of the Omen as well, featuring a new character, Keith Rothman, who's also the Battle Pass leader for Runecraft. But you also get a alt art for Devastating Soprano, which we don't know the effect of yet, but, you know, presumably it's a Lashena support card. And they also talked a little bit about their balance philosophy. So they want to try to buff cards to increase play rate and to broaden use cases of less viable cards. But also, if cards need to be nerfed, they will do it, and they will give appropriate compensation. And generally, adjustments will be made at the end of odd-numbered months, in between card sets. However, adjustments may be made at any time when necessary, but they will always be announced beforehand. So it's nice to know that they are willing to do emergency nerfs if necessary. Also, they announced 3 million downloads, so that's pretty cool. So here's one of the things they haven't posted to the Twitter yet. There is going to be an alternate card style for a Runecraft based card. It's a truth based card, as you can see. The original art has Ryo and the new art has Valharia. And it's a card style you get just for upgrading your compendium, just for collecting cards in the set. They're also going to sell card styles for Gildaria and Charon in the shop as well. They also revealed the addition of Grand Master, so it's going to be 0 to 3. You don't lose master points for losing, so it's, you know, going to be much easier to climb to GM3. Once you're at GM0, you get the Flare as well as the regular sleeve, and when you're GM3, you get the premium sleeve. But you can also use Sears gems to premium your sleeve in case you don't have time to grind for that set and you really want it. They also said that in GM, they're going to replace groups with individual class ratings. So each class has a different level of proficiency, and you can also hide or show that on your profile. That's your choice. So we're also on the 2-month release schedule now. So each set is 2 months, but within a set, there are 2 seasons, one for each month. You start each set at Master 0. But if you reach Grandmaster in the first season of the set, you will revert back to Grandmaster 0 in the second season of the set. But then at the start of the new set, you go back down to Master 0 again. So there you go. Makes the second month grind a little easier. Speaking of the clarifications on seasonality, Battle passes also only last for 1 month, so for a season. So within one set 2-month release, there's going to be 2 battle passes. One for the first half, one for the second half. They also announced a second page of the Shadowverse Park bingo sheet with even more rewards, but you have to clear the first page to do it. There's also going to be new tutorials and puzzles, including for Galmu Dragon and Loot Sword. So they also got a sneak peek at a 1-cost Galmu card here, so that might be good too. And they've updated the crest display with additional indicators for when your crests are active. So good for people who forget about their Grimnir, like me. The exclamation mark indicates if a resource is going to be used for that crest. They also updated the replay functionality. Now you can go hand by hand instead of turn by turn. So even more granular replay functions for people who like reviewing their games to get better. And here's a really funny one. They have a shiny particle effect over your deck depending on how many premium cards are in it. And it changes at 10, 20, 30, and 40 premium cards. Literally doesn't change anything except to flex. At the start of the next set, you also get to choose one of these 3 decks, Sword, Dragon, Abyss. It includes 2 legendaries each, including one of the legendaries is going to be from Heir of the Omen. So just nice to get another free deck. Then there's also release missions. So same as every set, there's missions over the course of 3 days. You finish all of them, you get 10 packs. And they're also going to sell a bundle at the launch of the set, and the purchase bonus is going to be this Lashena card style. Also, to commemorate the launch and the 3 million downloads, there's going to be a new bundle on the Cygames web store. This is Shadowverse Parkapalooza. You get double keys from September 12th, so more park chests. You get to share park photos from September 12th, and you might get 10 pack tickets. And also, if you share fan art from September 16th, you might have them shown in the park, which is pretty cool. Also, the Shadowverse Online Championship is coming. Yeah, so yeah, you can sign up for that, I suppose. Know that there's no English support, so keep that in mind. Now, here's the one I'm most excited about. We're gonna get a boss battle at the end of September. Single player boss battle content where you get dungeon coins and then you exchange the coins for rewards. This is sick. I love it. More PvE content, more ways to play the game. And then another cool event in October is an evolving chest event for guilds. So you have to work together with your guilds, playing matches, etc., completing missions to upgrade the chest, and at the end you all get the reward. So you got to make sure you have an active guild. And the last thing they announced is that there's going to be card reveals pretty much every day from now until the launch of the set. That's it. That's the whole recap. I'll see you next time. Peace.